while since I've done this, but it's my birthday, so let's go through what were the top 10 songs on the 4th of December 1990. Starting off with number 10, we have Fantasy by Black Box. Popular during the late 80s into the mid-90s, this Italian house music six-piece had their biggest success haul in the UK, scoring 9 top 40 singles, 3 of them cracking the top 5, with this being their third most successful hit. A cover of the 1978 track made famous by the American band Earth, Wind and Fire, which peaked at number 14 here in the UK. And to be honest, this cover isn't all that bad. Okay, it doesn't even come close to topping the original, but here, Black Box does more than enough to give this track their own twist on the song, and it's an enjoyable piece. Musically, the song has a real summery vibe going on, and the combination of the synth bass, which has a great groove going on, with the hints of piano, which delivers its own melody towards the end of the track, a flute inclusion in the final third, and synth strings culminate in an entertaining and danceable track. Massive props go to the vocalist Martha Wash, who absolutely kills it on this song. Her soulful pipes provide a fantastic contrast to the dance music and shows off that she has great power and control as well. So, this is a good start. Is it going to continue? Nope, because at number 9 we have Justify My Love by Madonna. We all know who Madonna is, so you don't really need any specifics about her, but here are a few statistics. 13 studio albums, all cracking the top 10, with 9 going to number 1. Over 300 million records sold worldwide, officially being the biggest selling female recording artist of all time. 60 top 10 singles cracking the top 10, 13 reaching number 1. Over 115 million singles sold worldwide. Easily one of the greatest female soloists ever. And this is easily one of the worst singles that she's ever released. Somehow, unbeknownst to me, peaking at number 2 in the UK. One of the things that many people say of Madonna nowadays is that she's trying too hard to shock in order to stay relevant, and it's coming across as pretty sad. And I think that's true to a degree, and you could argue that it all started here. Forgetting the preset drum beat, lifeless synths and skin-crawling backing vocals that are the complete opposite to what this song's trying to be, the lyrics outright fail to provoke any sort of sensualism and sexiness, and Madonna's vocals, if you want to even call them that, evoke this emotion out of me that I can only describe as ugh. It's boring, it's coma-inducing, and it's a chapter of Madonna's history that I think should be thoroughly burned. At number 8 is Falling by Julee. An actress, singer and songwriter, Julee singing career is something there's nothing to write home about. This track being her most successful, the theme to the early 90s cult television programme Twin Peaks. Despite releasing 4 studio albums in the space of 22 years, she only ever had 2 charting singles afterwards, both of which failing to crack the top 50. But I'll say this track, it's certainly a haunting piece, even if I can't tell what's being sung without the aid of a lyric sheet. And it's not like the music blasts your eardrums. It's very cautious and delicate, with the 3-note bass riff, the double-tone keyboard delivery and synth strings added later on. It's skeletal, but it works. It's probably helped by the fact that Cruz's vocal delivery is practically whispered. I think I would have liked this song better if it had some oomph in the vocal delivery, but it's just too sleepy and tepid for me to really give a damn about the track. At number 7 is It Takes Two by Tina Turner and Rod Stewart. It's always exciting whenever superpowers of the music industry come together to collaborate, and in this instance, it's no different. For one, you've got Sir Rod Stewart with 26 top 10 albums selling over 100 million copies worldwide, 62 UK hit singles with 31 reaching top 10 status and 6 of them going to number 1, and with multiple Hall of Fame entries as well. And 2, you have Tina Turner, 10 studio albums, 5 of which entered the top 10, over 180 million records sold worldwide, 24 top 40 solo singles, and again, numerous Hall of Fame entries. And look, you'd be a fool not to expect anything but the best from these two, and they deliver exactly that with this cover of the Marvin Gaye and Kim Weston track. It's just a great piece of pop rock that comes complete with electric guitars that deliver strong riffs, keyboards and piano that have life and energy to them, and the inclusion of a saxophone in the middle, plus Rod and Tina's vocals, both working fantastically with one another. What more can I say? It's a fantastic track. At number 6 is Saviour's Day by Cliff Richard. Now for the first and only real Christmas song on this list, and from someone who, again, needs no introduction. so I'm going to keep it brief. The only living UK artist to have a #1 single from the 50s through to the 90s, has released 146 singles in the UK, with 69 achieving top 10 status, with 14 going to #1, has sold over 21 million singles to date in the UK alone, has 28 top 10 studio albums selling over 250 million copies worldwide, the third top selling artist in UK singles chart history behind Elvis Presley and the Beatles. It's really no wonder that this guy is crowned as the most successful British solo artist of all time. This is one of many Christmas tracks that Sir Cliff has released in his time, and personally, it's one of my favourite Christmas songs of all time, and probably Cliff's best. It's a real coming together kind of track, drawing on a sense of unity that's a real pull on the heartstrings, make all the more possible with the instrumentation, which is terrific. Great melodies, a fantastic solo piece from the woodwind, the picked guitars and the wall of sound delivered by the strings. It's such a luscious piece and the vocal deliveries are completely on point. This song, absolutely incredible. At number 5 is Kinky Boots by Patrick Macnee and Blackman. Written by Herbert Kretzmer and David Lee and performed by Patrick McGee and Blackman, stars of the British television show The Avengers, the 1-minute 37-second track was released back in 1964 and achieved 0 traction. It wasn't until a push from former Radio 1 DJ Simon Mayo in 1990 that the track gained any sort of notoriety and achieves top 5 status. So I know exactly who I have to blame for dropping this crap on my doorstep. I'm going to keep this short because recognising this as an actual song is a complete joke. It's a song about shoes. That's it. It's annoying as shit, and neither of the participants are really singing as much as they are just saying the lyrics. Next, at number 4 is Don't Worry by Kim Appleby. Born Kim Lorraine Appleby and one half of the singing duo Mel and Kim, this was Kim's debut solo record, which peaked at number 2. Embarking on a solo career after the death of her sister in January 1990, this was Kim's most successful hit. The following 2 tracks coming in at number 10 and 19 respectively, and everything else after that just crashed outside of the top 40. Her last album dropped in 1993, and since then she's done very little else. Regarding this track, it's okay. It's one of those songs where there's nothing overtly wrong with the song per se, it's just that the cliched, run-of-the-mill copy and paste lyrics are a dime a dozen that have been done to death in the past, and it's just as skippable as those tracks. The bouncy dance beat with the synth bass and blasts of keyboard synths don't tarnish the track in any way, but when the lyrics are as stale as this, then it's tough to invest in a song like this in any way, shape or form. Plus, Kim isn't exactly the most recognisable of vocalists, and she does nothing to give me any excuse to want to source out any more of her material. At number 3 is Unbelievable by EMF. With a combined career spanning roughly 2 decades, this alternative dance music group has had a pretty stagnant career, all things considered. Only 3 studio albums, 9 top 40 singles with 3 cracking the top 10, this being their joint most successful single besides a cover of the Monkees track I'm a Believer. And unless you are or were a follower of this group, this track would probably be the only thing you'd recognise about them. Primarily because the song is really good. The lyrics, which concern the lead's exasperation of being with a woman who's coming across as a complete contradiction, are constructed solidly. Plus the instrumentation is solid as hell. Along with the drum beat, you've got a bass guitar that delivers a great groove, the electric guitars have a solid relationship with the piano in the bridge, the first also gives a few licks here and there, plus there's a cowbell in there, and you know how much of a sucker I am for a cowbell. At number 2 is Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. Although alternating between 4 different people over the years, the original Righteous Brothers duo of Bill Medley and Bobby Hatfield are pretty much considered musical legends, both with noticeable different vocal ranges which complemented each other tremendously. Both as soloists could hold their own competently, but for some reason they never really found their footing over here in the UK, only achieving 8 top 40 singles, and as a duo none of their albums really seem to catch fire over here. Whilst many will debate whether this is the best Righteous Brothers song ever created, it's without a doubt one of the best songs of all time, and this is easily the best version there is. Despite being billed as a Righteous Brothers track, it's actually performed as a solo by Bobby Hatfield, and to put it simply, it's phenomenal. A track about a man pining for a long-lost lover, accompanied by the gorgeous instrumentation of repeated piano piano melody, strings, and brief electric guitar stabs in the 3/4 time signature. The pure emotion that drips out of Hatfield's voice is borderline tear-jerking. This is why this makes the next track that dethroned it from the top spot all the more heartbreaking. Because the number one song of December the 4th, 1990 was Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. You know, it sucks that no matter what happens from here on out, I'll always have the fact looming over my head that this track was topping the charts the day I was born. And look, it's not like it's the worst song in the world. Hell, I don't even think it's as terrible as most people out there think it is. But with everything else that's come before and the fact that this was the track that dethroned Unchained Melody from the top spot, can you blame me for being this disillusioned? What can I say? It's just an atypical brag rap track that's delivered over the instrumentation, which samples the instrumentation from Under Pressure by Queen featuring David Bowie. And it's Vanilla Ice. You can't hate it. You just have to sort of look at him and be like, that actually happened. And there you go. Those were the top 10 biggest selling singles back on 4th of December 1990. So, what do you guys think of these tracks? Do you like these tracks? Do you hate them? Do you agree with my opinions? Do you disagree with them? However you feel, leave your opinions in the comment section below. As I always say, all comments are welcome. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And until next time, I'm That Song Review Guy. On the returning charts of the past, take care.